is already here, uh, welcome to the Very Serious Crafts Podcast live stream, which we have never done before.
No.
If you somehow stumbled upon this, I'm Molly from Wild Olive.
I'm Haley from Red Handled Scissors and the Bones and Bobbins podcast.
Yes, and I would estimate that things are going to be delightfully awkward for the next goodness knows how long.
Oh, so awkward. I can't find my headphones. I also just woke up because though I set an alarm that went off, I slept right through it.
It means that you needed to sleep, and it's all fine.
We'll go with that. We'll go with that.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I'm also not in my normal spot where we would record the podcast because of I'm gonna go with fingers crossed best internet situation for today.
You
So
look very clear.
well, yeah, I will hope. But it also means that I don't have a door and there's other people in the house. So anything could happen.
I bet it's your mom bringing you coffee. I
It,
bet that's what's gonna happen.
okay, well, the coffee is here
Ah.
already, but there could be more. We'll see. We'll find out.
Well, we're definitely going to have a cameo of my spouse bringing me tea at some point
Okay.
as I tornadoed through the downstairs trying to find a shirt and then trying to find a hat that did not match my shirt, and I failed at that. So.
I don't know. It definitely looks like you tried very hard to match as opposed to the opposite, but I like it so 'cause,
I
you know.
I mean, it, we'll say I did this for you.
Okay, I accept that. I accept that. Um,
Oh my
yeah,
goodness.
um, boy, I'm a little bit speechless at this moment just because here we are sitting on a live stream podcast, but
You know what? That's fine.
yeah.
I thrive in awkward because, the autism. So I think it's fine. Are you making a thing?
I did bring some knitting. So if I'm looking down, it's because I'm not 100% confident in my no looking knitting.
I am not capable of doing that.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my goodness. Catherine is here
Hi!
from the UK. Oh, good, wonderful. We're so glad that you are here.
Yay!
Yeah, I brought knitting that has all the things because I've switched from the round to flat.
Oh, you brought chaos knitting.
I did, I did. Um, and okay, I really like
Hmm.
this pattern. This is
Okay.
the Flora jumper from Melody Huffman. Huffman?
Oh,
Huffman?
yeah, yeah.
I've been working on this for ages. I bought the yarn for this in I want to say May 2020. And I
Uh,
started,
thanks,
I
Jeremy.
think Hi Jeremy.
Hello. Did you see my headphones out there anywhere?
Nope, no. That was all.
Fascinating. Okay.
My thoughts are there.
Oh, thank you. Jeremy found them
Oh,
on my
perfect.
desk
Okay.
in front of me.
Relatable.
That was my door of the creaky old Victorian that does not actually do what you want it to do unless you make it.
Yes. Our house is not even probably a quarter of the age of your maybe a quarter. But and it's very much the same. You have to make it do things. Anyway, yeah, I started this knitting this project I think in August of 2020. So
So a great time to start anything.
exactly. And it's taken me this long to finally get to where I'm splitting for sleeves and shoulders and neck and all of that. Um, and I we all know that math and I don't always we don't always mix real
Not
well.
always.
I usually,
So, hand knits as coaster, just saying.
perfect. Um,
So
but
prepared.
I am convinced that there's something wrong with the math at this point in the pattern.
Okay.
That there's like a count that is off. I'm just
I
going.
found a mistake like that in, I'm not even gonna call out the name of the book because I know and love the author,
Yeah.
and I think the math works until you get to a certain, like, we all know I'm child-sized. So, when you get to a certain borderline not adult size, the
Okay.
math falls apart,
Okay.
and I have made the skirt, like, 15 times following the directions exactly, thinking that I have just failed. I don't think I have just failed.
Yeah.
I made it for someone else and it was fine.
I have I have counted, I have multiplied, I've looked at, I've tried it for the different repeats. It again, it is possible that I am missing something because that is I'm I mean that's likely even, but I've checked it so many times, and so now I just am
I think
hoping.
you just found an error.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that I couldn't find though like where anybody else has found this. I've not hunted seriously. Maybe I should hunt a little bit more. But at any rate, I'm just hoping that I reach a point and I go, well, good enough. That's fine. I can make it all work together. It's like one stitch, right? It's fine.
One stitch too many or one stitch too few?
Um, I think I had one stitch too many when I it hit, and then like when it split, and then now I just,
Oh,
yeah. So like,
so that echoes.
yes, I'm like just I'm knitting now, and I'm keeping my stitch count consistent, assuming that that's the correct, right? Because I'm gonna. I haven't started reducing for. I haven't done any short rows or anything yet, so I think we'll be fine. We'll find out.
I think it will also be fine. Oh, hi,
Hi,
Laura.
Laura. Yes, it is. I am winging it. I will be literally winging it when it comes to connecting this to the sleeves, so that works.
I'm gonna make a. That was terrible.
I
I'm
know,
gonna
but
make a
dad jokes
terrible
don't
noise.
promise.
'Cause- Ha! Ha.
Ooh, what do you have?
Speaking of ghosts from Christmas past, um, the Professor Meow sweater
Oh,
that I have been making for.
that is so appropriate to be working on today.
That's exactly why I got. I have this new sweater pattern from Pearl that I was going to
Oh,
start,
that's gorgeous.
and I happened upon. We know my insomnia internet holes. So I happened upon the very big store brand holiday sale
Okay.
and got all of like a sweater's worth of yarn in their store brand for under $100.
Oh, nice.
And I was like, okay, I guess I'm making this now.
What?
In the colorway shown
Okay.
with a slight adjustment for the secondary color to make it
Okay.
less warm.
Okay.
But yeah, so I guess I'm doing that.
I love.
Um, yeah, but I figured I'd better do Professor Meow for this because,
Yeah.
well, you can watch me utterly fail because it isn't in the round, and I will forget that it isn't in the round because I am absolutely not doing it on straight needles, and then I will do about halfway through in the wrong stitch.
I
And then we can watch me swear about it. Except not swear about it because this is our podcast. Swear.
and it's live, so I can't even edit you out.
That's so high pressure.
I should not have said that actually. That's risky. Hmm. Uh,
I will be good, I
okay. All
think.
right. I am officially okay, so um do my notifications show up in the live? I hope not. That was That's my
No,
Animal Crossing notifications popping through here. Um,
I did not see them.
okay. Um, so Haley for Christmas sent me the most beautiful stitch markers. And when they came, I said, "Oh, this is great. I'm gonna pick up my knitting so that I can use them." Hi, Connie. We're glad you got the chat to work. We're looking forward to hearing more from everybody. Um,
Hi, Gani.
so these are the stitch markers that Haley sent, and I said that I would pick up my knitting project again now that I can swap in these beautiful stitch markers. Literally live right now, I am removing one stitch mark, the first one, and putting on the beautiful one from Haley. So there it is. This is what they actually
I
like.
I feel
They're
so honored.
they're little flowers, and they're different sizes and colors, and they're just so beautiful.
And
So
they're specifically Molly colors, and
very
I had to.
very Molly. They're perfect.
Oh, I wish I had the cross stitch that Molly made me this amazing, amazing cross stitch pattern for Christmas that says mystically awkward, and it's in my colors and also her colors somehow. Like it
Yeah,
really works,
it's.
and it's amazing.
Let me see here if I can find.
Except it's in my kitchen at
Yeah,
the moment.
it's so the pattern was by a designer called on Etsy called X Cross Stitch Pattern X. So it's very it was so much fun to stitch for you. So
Yeah, it's really cool. And it was on navy fabric, and so those of you who know, you know. Like you don't stitch on a dark background fabric unless you really love someone.
I that was that was my first time stitching on at least starting a project on dark. Uh
Oh, was it?
yeah. And then I in my new book that's coming out, then I did a project also that's on black. And but I was already prepared because I had started on yours.
I think navy is harder than black. This may be a hot take, but I think navy's harder than black because there is just enough play with the light. Um,
Well,
I'm not, yeah.
I quickly learned that having backlight is extremely helpful. Like having the laptop or even like TV going in the background so that you can hold it up and like see a little bit
Ah,
through it. Yeah,
yes.
it helps. Yeah.
Oh, I just realized that I did not put it on Patreon or Instagram yet because I just saw your text.
Oh, that's okay. That's all right.
And it being the link to
Yes.
this.
Yes, exactly. It's fine. If you are able to do that, awesome. And more people can join us. And if not, that's okay too, because we already have lovely friends here with us. Speaking of which, for those of you who are watching, we would love to hear if you brought a project to work on, what you are making or what you've been making. Um,
Yes, please.
'Cause it's nice to hear those things.
Ooh, what is this nonsense? I clearly haven't logged into Instagram on a desktop in a while.
Hmm. That was
Yeah.
also my. That was why I was not able to just quickly pop that link over there. Not that you could use desktop to do stories anyway, but um, I tell you, friends, we are seasoned serious crafters, I would say, at this age. And
You're so good at this.
doing adding in the ability to do a live today was really fun watching us figure out the technology yesterday. So
It was it took us a while,
it did,
but
but we did it
it
to
was
you,
fun.
or we did it for you. Um, yeah. Okay. So I saw
Now
that.
I don't want notifications. Oh, for goodness.
Um, let's see here. The message that here we are. Oh, you're still working on Christmas presents, Connie. That's you know what? That's perfectly acceptable. I love
Yeah.
the um doing. I think I've mentioned in the podcast before that my grandma always made knitted dishcloths for everyone, and then I learned how to do that. So occasionally, then I will make some of those for my mom. Um, okay, and Laura. Now I'm looking up. Laura's knitting in or weaving in ends for a March 2020 project. I'm looking up what that project looks like now. Not your personal project, but the pattern at least.
I was like, wow.
I've mastered the technology immediately. That's gorgeous. That's gorgeous, Laura. Um, yeah, love it. But also, you probably have plenty of ends to weave in on that.
I hate weaving in ends. I mean, everybody hates weaving in ends, except for I really like it when I'm focused. Ooh, birthday card. Cool.
um, yeah. Okay. So um I have managed to mostly avoid cross stitching on linen entirely. I have like one project that's like that big, and I still haven't finished it. Like it's almost finished, but um
Linen is
in the dark
intense.
linen would be even harder. The benefit to to I feel like I'm like having a high pressure moment. Do we say Ada or Ida in this podcast?
I say Ada,
Okay, well, Ada. Ada it is.
but
The benefit to that
uh,
with dark fabric is you can really see those holes, whereas in linen, that you have chosen a challenge there, Catherine. So
trying to. Yeah, I can't think of a way. I guess you could do it over a light box.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, Connie has also
Uh-huh. All
just
right.
looked into Laura's pattern. Now I need to look into Laura's pattern.
You absolutely do because it's well, I love Andrea Mallory's patterns anyway, so they're um okay, hold on. Adding another stitch marker,
Ooh.
swapping out the old for the new. That's perfect for New Year's also. Um
Oh, that's really pretty.
yeah, yeah.
That is going to be an epic pain in the butt. It almost looks like, oh no, I've forgotten the word. You know, Tunisian crochet.
Oh, I got like brioche vibes, but like better
I
than
mean,
brioche.
I think that that is also true.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
those two are spiritually related.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm. I still have not put the link up on Instagram because I can't figure out how.
It's fine.
Ah,
People will find us. They'll figure it out. It's all good. I'm just
they absolutely will.
watching multiple screens to see if there's things showing up different places that I need to see and reply to. But
Same.
yeah. Um. By the way, I'm just gonna. I as I was starting all of this up and trying to, you know,
Yes, Molly is the hero of this.
ooh, slipped stitches. That's fantastic.
That's
Sorry.
cool.
as if as if we didn't like um go all over the place normally when we're talking. Now we have the addition of live comments to suddenly interrupt our thoughts and go in another direction. I'm fine with it. But anyway, um a I had a really hard time not just calling this live stream the New Year's crafting Eve instead of New Year's Rockin' Eve, but I didn't do it.
What did you call it?
I think I called it the Very Serious Crafts live stream. It's kind of boring.
I think that's fine. All right. I have found the link.
Yay!
That doesn't mean I've done anything with it. And
That's all right. That's all right.
I don't think I can actually link in stories.
You might not be able to. Yeah.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think that's a possibility. So I will just put up a little thing being like, "Hey, go to the Patreon."
I it's fine. People are figuring it out. And,
Clearly.
and we're here anyway. So,
Uh,
knitting away and all of that. Things
it's
popping up
true.
everywhere.
What's popping up everywhere?
I just realized that I had things running in the background that were doing who knows what. It's
Chaos.
uh so
Hmm.
how okay, you're on the Professor Meow. When was the last time you picked up this project? I feel like we're like harkening back to a train of shame moment here, but when was the last time?
Um, Actually, really recently,
Oh,
because I
good.
specifically have uh, positioned its container on the middle floor. So, for those of you who may have stumbled onto this, I uh, recently purchased a very rambling Victorian house, and it has 3 floors, which is a lot of exercise, and also means if something's on the 3rd floor and you're downstairs,
You gotta
you're probably
really
not going to
want
make it.
it.
Yep, and so I have positioned this on the 2nd floor, and I've been bringing it down when the wood stove is going.
Yeah, nice.
But, I mean, I have not made it very far, so
It's you know, it's still
because
start.
there's cats. There's a
Yeah.
cat on my lap, you
Right now
see.
there is?
No.
Oh,
I wish there was.
okay.
No, whenever I pull this out, there is a cat
Okay.
on my lap,
Gotcha.
and, well, that doesn't go well.
That's true. That's true.
Mhm. And sometimes results in major abdominal surgery. Do not recommend.
Yeah, you don't want that. Um,
No, no.
I have been trying to like make decisions about when I'm working on certain projects and when I'm holding guinea pigs because
Guinea pigs, I
they
love them.
same like I had one of my piggies grabbed at embroidery floss. Now they chew fast and they chew long things and so they like munch 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 and we were under observation for a little while for that. But even like they love to try and like grab my paper patterns that I have out. They they like to grab at the edge um of Ada cloth.
Yep.
They just think that that's a delight for them to snack on.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're not wrong. They're just misguided.
Exactly. And they're so gosh darn cute when they're doing it that yeah. But they're
True.
yeah, some things I can make it work to hold them and craft, but other things not so much. I have to have ample space around me so that I can keep things uh
The guinea pig buffer.
yeah, like if I have a guinea pig like directly in my lap, then the things that, if I like I've been cutting out a fair amount of felt pieces lately, so those have to stay like on either side, you know. Yeah.
Yes, the trials and tribulations of, well, every creature.
Yes.
I
Yes.
was having a moment the other day where I was trying to get Jack to get off of the dining room table. Just get off. You don't belong up there. Come on. You have 1 million surfaces to climb. You don't need to be on the dining room table. And then, because she's a tortie with the appropriate attitude for such things,
Mhm.
um, she was just not having it. And not even in the I'm being bad kind of way, in the just so stubborn it hasn't occurred to her to ever not do what she's doing. And I was like, it is very strange that we have these tiny wild cats in our houses that we tease with things so they will attack them, and that's fun. Hmm.
Yeah. The number of times that like when she decides to when Darcy, who is also a tortie, jumps up into my bed and climbs under the covers and wants me to hold her like a baby, and then I go, "How did we decide to do this? How is this a thing that we just do and
Oh,
everyone
we didn't
accepts it?"
decide. The
Well,
cats decided.
I mean, as a culture though, that we've opted to have these animals that we have invited into our homes and now like snuggling in our beds. I don't know.
I mean, they're warm and soft, and
They are, and they're
sometimes they
very loving.
make biscuits.
That's true. Sometimes lots of biscuits.
Yeah, it is deeply baffling to
It is.
me, but also I kind of like just how weird humans are that they're like, "All right, cool.
Exactly.
That's
Exactly.
fine."
This is all good.
Yeah, and I do realize the actual history of domesticating cats. I'm just saying that,
It's also slightly absurd.
yeah, we were like, "Oh, thar's vermin." Um, and so we brought another one inside.
The secret to too many vermin is add another one.
Mhm. Add another one that will make a mess with the
Yep.
first one.
Yes.
And not even necessarily catching the first one, just
Playing.
tearing through your house,
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah.
trying to oh, whatever. I will take the ghosts. Yep.
Hmm. Um, you know what's really fun is when you are a very serious crafter live on the internet and you find that yourself making mistakes with your knitting.
I
So
haven't even stuck a needle in this because I know the moment I do, I am going to just do something very dumb.
it's I
And you know what?
yeah,
Okay.
all everything's fine. I'm
Until it isn't.
well, it isn't. We'll just get there. It'll be okay. Um,
Will it?
something will happen. It'll be okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So, we have Connie still making Christmas gifts. Did you do any handmade gifts this year, Haley, or is basically like all of your home DIY things, those were Christmas gifts to yourself?
Well, I set up a Roomba.
Oh,
Do you
that's
know
fun.
that they've gotten very, very smart? The Roomba is smarter than me um, with regards to mapping out cleaning, and I am very good at cleaning. But the Roomba makes a topographical map
That's
of
impressive.
the area so it knows, and now it moves in a grid, and so it knows exactly where it's hit on the map, and it talks to itself on the internet. I don't know. And so that was kind of DIY. I put it together and set it up. But
That's
no,
pretty fun.
I for sure did not make anything for anyone. Um because I just life. I also
Yeah.
don't usually make handmade presents because unless you're making it for someone who crafts,
Yeah.
it's well, I mean, we all know it doesn't hit quite the same. Is
Yeah.
that what the kids are saying these
Yeah.
days? Um, but yeah, it's so I didn't have time. If I could swing my phone around, which I guess I actually could, and show you the workspace that I am in, it's not exactly functional. And yes, I've been here for a while, but when you have 3 floors of chaos and s construction, and we're rewiring the house because there's knob and tube wiring in parts of it, which I will post a photo, uh, on the Instagram later of what knob and tube is if you have never seen it, because it is really baffling that those pieces of ceramic are the, electrical system to part of my house.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although I will say knob and tube is actually, when well maintained, extraordinarily safe because the wires don't ever come together, except for when they're wired into a socket.
Intentionally, yeah, yeah.
So there isn't really the opportunity to spark that there is in modern wiring. But let's just say my 1848 house says, nah, with the making sense. Um, so yeah, and it's just been a lot of learning how to do things I didn't know I needed to learn how to do. Ooh, I did I think this counts as a gift for someone else. I have been learning to refinish marble because I have acquired a very, how I sometimes become very, very stuck on a specific topic?
Sure.
So for a while, people were giving me secretaries. Like, I have an excessive number of secretaries in my house right now, not the person,
Yes.
the piece of furniture. And although it would be pretty funny if I
Yeah, I like that idea.
just like secretaries
Yes.
perched about. Uh, yeah. Anyway, um, so after the secretaries phase, it was um, vanities, marble topped vanities. And so those are big and heavy.
They are big and
And
heavy.
I have several of
Mhm.
those now. I think I'm collecting one for each room
Perfect.
because you don't turn down one when they show up.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, no. Did I ever send you
but
a picture of ours that was my great grandma's bedroom set? Uh,
no.
okay, I'll have to send you a picture of that.
Yes,
There's
please.
also like a matching basin stand that yeah.
Yeah, this is
And the
actually
yeah.
precisely where I'm going.
Okay.
Um, so there is an elder care home that is the mansion right next to my house. And it was consolidating with another home in the same community because COVID. And so they were having a big yard sale that had like all of the just a bunch of extraneous antiques, because when you have a house that big and a population that is that, you end up with a lot of
Yeah.
extraneous antiques. And so my across the street neighbor was over there before I had woken up, which is not unusual, and was already texting me as I opened my eyes, informing me that she had very kindly put down money for a marble top vanity that was over there because she thought I needed it. And then when I got over there, there was also a, I think it would have been a double wash basin stand
Okay.
that also marble top, like, marble as long as me. And so I, of course, got that too because they were like $30.
That's amazing.
Yeah, like, each.
Incredible.
Yep. And so they weren't in great shape. And so I spent much of like late fall figuring out how to polish marble.
Yeah.
And I'm bad at it. Like, just real bad at it
You have to be
still.
getting better though, right?
I am getting better.
Yeah.
Um, I need different. I need to not do by hand what would be very easily done by rotary machine of some
Sure.
sort.
Yeah.
I'm inconsistent
Okay.
in the way that like old marble isn't even, so it's hard to get like consistency and but I got really good at restoring the color. So
Okay.
pulling old stains out and stuff like that. So I needed bedroom furniture because my dad and my stepmom were coming in to visit late fall. And so when I got these, my goal was to have these be part of the bedroom suite in their guest room.
Yes.
And so I don't know how many weeks I spent working on these. Um and I finally got all of like the wash basin. The the problem with these, and it's not a problem actually, is that they were used
Yeah.
and like daily.
Yeah.
And so marble stains. And
Well,
I
that's
love that they were used.
I will be requesting your favorite resources because the pieces that we have could could stand to be refreshed.
Oh, I'm good
So,
at it now.
okay.
That is a thing I am extremely good at making marble the right color again.
Okay. Okay.
Um, yeah, call me the Louvre. Um, so I got them into reasonable shape and polished the wood and did all the things and had them all set up in my guest room for my dad and my stepmom when they came. And
Love it.
I was so pleased because it was a gift to them because it feels comfortable when you are in a room with all of the things that you need. So I've like set out water glasses and like folded towels, did the whole ridiculous like you're in a hotel thing.
I
Um, but
I
because I had all of those surfaces and they were special surfaces, they were interesting, like surfaces with a history,
yeah.
it just felt really good.
I kind of like that you get to be like Goth Martha Stewart.
Although I will say that that title is for sure already taken by this amazing creator named Christine McConnell.
Okay. Well, that's
I mean,
fine, but you know,
she's amazing,
yeah.
and I just
You've mentioned her before.
yeah.
So, yeah.
Um, so yeah, it's really fun, and I got also because autism, um, etiquette books from the time period when this house was
That
built so I could understand what the different areas were
yeah.
actually intended to be used for. So I have a book of household goods, so I can identify different things, uh, different Victorian construction layouts, so I can identify what the rooms were supposed to be used for,
Mhm.
or what they are. And then I have the etiquette book that really explains the flow of the rooms through what you're supposed to do when you have guests coming. And so it's been really fun to sort of piece all of the "Why is my house this way?" mysteries together. And the passageways feel slightly less confusing.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, so that's good.
That is good.
Yeah. What else did you make for the holidays? Did you do ornaments?
So at the beginning of November, I released a set of ornament patterns that it has 34 designs in it. So you could use it with two different Advent devotional books. And so all of those ornaments are on our Christmas tree. And then I also made some just like really simple um, things where I just added ties onto little stars that I bought. And then I made a few macrame Christmas trees, which
Oh, I
just like
saw those.
the tied ones.
Yeah.
My intention, because it wouldn't be me if I didn't fail at making something. My intention was to make a like get something done. I mean, like, I always have more
I
things
know.
planned than what I am able to get done. That's what I'm saying.
We're
um,
very good, like we have said before,
yeah,
at making jobs for ourselves.
yes, I cut off more fabric than I can sew or something like that. But
Ooh, I
it was
like that.
my plan was because I had
Did I
made the
just hear Darcy?
I you do hear Darcy. She's in the other room, and if she figures out that I'm out here, we'll see her. Um, but yeah, my plan was to go along with the macrame trees is I was going to make a macrame star for the top of the tree.
Oh, that's pretty.
And I found a simple tutorial on YouTube, and I was gonna do that, and I didn't. So the tree just doesn't have anything at the top, and everyone's fine with it.
Neither
So
does ours.
yeah,
It's
it's
fine.
it's fine.
I thought
Um,
that I had ordered a handmade, like, tin shooting star for the top.
oh, that sounds cute.
Turns out that I hadn't. I ordered the ornaments.
Okay, see,
Yep.
say we're in the same spot there.
Yeah.
And then I made some extra ornaments for a few friends, and I made Grace a Santa ornament using a pattern from Cloudcraft, and I made my brother PJ. I made him an ornament. He had been joking with someone and doing this whole thing about a particular Pokemon that apparently nobody likes. And I just
Wah wah.
picked up on that. And so I thought it would be hilarious to make him an ornament of that Pokemon. So, like
Mhm.
you do, because as the big sister,
It's your
um,
job.
yeah. So I made him a Pokemon ornament. I used like a pattern that somebody had made for making like a little plush version of it, and I just shrunk down the pieces and I made it flat and I kept it super simple, and he liked it. So it was good. Um,
Excellent. I love a good joke gift.
yeah,
Like, if you know someone well enough to send them something that they're just gonna be like,
yeah. I
it's my favorite.
I also wanted to make sure that I didn't spend so much time on it that, like, in the event that he was like, "Absolutely not," and he just threw it in the trash, that I wouldn't feel horrible.
Right, right.
He wouldn't really do that, but he might for it to be funny because the same way that I'm being funny by making him the ornament. So, anyway.
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
So, okay, Laura, I've been meaning to knit a wreath for my knitted taxidermy deer head for the past 5 years. First of all, I love that idea. And
Me too.
and this could be your year.
It could be. I believe in you. I also want to know, I think I'm picturing something significantly more complicated with regards to knitted wreaths than is probably actually the case. But I am picturing like individual knitted like pieces that all fit together around a form.
Ooh. That's
like,
cool.
so you get the 3D
Yeah,
texture. Um,
that would be that would be very cool.
but I'm guessing that is not what that is, but that is the only thing I can imagine.
But let us complicate this process for you, Laura, so that it becomes even less likely that you make the thing.
I'm just saying that I don't actually know. I don't know.
All right.
My sound is not cutting out. I can hear Molly just fine.
Yeah,
Um,
I by a small miracle I'm not going to say anything, but
go,
things are yeah.
go.
I'm moving on. I'm not going to attempt that. Okay,
Oh,
see Laura, you were already thinking in that direction.
I am
Uh,
unsurprised.
yeah. Yeah. And yeah, the number of I had years that I did pretty much make something handmade for all the people on my small list of people. Like, I wasn't it's not like I was making 20 handmade gifts. I was making like 8, and that was
That's
still
enough.
that's still enough. And I would sometimes
Mhm.
they would be really simple things, but yeah, now if I can do a few, then I feel really excited about that. So,
Do you remember the year I crocheted individual floral brooches for all of the women in my family? I can't remember if it might have been right before we
I don't
started the
think I've even
podcast.
ever heard about these.
It was I think it would have been about the time we became friends, actually.
Okay. Okay.
So way before the podcast. But one year I had just learned how to crochet during jury duty. And I had gotten this book that was crocheted flowers.
Yeah.
Um, just like 3D crocheted flowers. And I was sort of like, I had just designed some crocheted air plants and
Okay.
things like that. So I had just learned and I was figuring out how to do design work and I was like, well, if I want to really know how to do design work, these are complicated. And so I decided like 3 days before Christmas, like something really ridiculous that I was going to make all of the women in my family brooches that were made out of that were these like large, like we're talking half softball size, um,
Okay.
crocheted flowers, and the it wasn't like lace weight yarn
Right.
or anything. Like it was like at least worsted, so it wasn't as bad as it sounds. But I managed to do a different flower for all of the women in my family, and I can't remember how many were going to be at that particular Christmas gathering. But it was the worst idea I have ever had, but it came out so beautifully. And it was, do you remember that trend of the like stocking hats, but with the giant flowers on the sides?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So it was during that, and everyone immediately put them on their hats and wore them every day. And
There
I was
you
just
go.
like, all right. And I
I
have never made another flower.
that yeah. I I understand. I understand. That no, that's really cool though. I like
It
that.
worked out really well, and before it was before I was writing books or anything, but I believe the blog had just started, so I think it's actually on my blog, but like the early questionable photography days.
Huh.
Um,
I still like I'm still kind of nostalgic about that era of
yes.
all of blogging really. Um, on the topic of um, hats, um, and handmade gifts, um, I got this I got this private message from someone saying that they had made a hat for their best friend. They'd gotten to the end and they needed to make a pom pom for it. And they were super nervous about making the pom pom and not, they'd never made one before. And they were afraid that they would mess it up and use the last of the really expensive yarn that they had gotten for making
I'm
this hat.
afraid of making them too,
Yeah.
just for the record.
And and she says, I found your tutorial on the spruce. And I'm like, bracing myself.
Uh-oh.
And then she's like, and it turned out great. And here's a photo. And this person had made the most perfect pom pom I think I have ever seen in my life. And I like just was like, oh, and then I like went around and showed everyone in my family, look at this person made a perfect pom pom. And they said that I helped them.
Yeah,
But
if you're ever wondering if people who create content actually do see the things that you send them and care, the answer is very much yes.
very much.
The
Yes.
number of times I have cried because someone has sent me a really sweet email about trying to think. Oh, I wrote a pattern called the perfect summer skirt pattern that continues to bounce around the internet.
Yes. I have probably used it in multiple lists with links to it.
Which I appreciate. And then I had a friend of mine, Amy from Knitty, who helped me do adjustments for larger waist sizes so the fabric didn't get too bulky.
Yeah.
And so it's probably the most thorough tutorial that I have ever written. It took forever, but I still get emails from people who are super excited um, because they have just made their first skirt and it fits and it never gets old.
I know.
Um, Also, if you happen to be watching this and are thinking, ooh, skirt, I highly recommend doing the plus size adjustment for any size because it really brings down the bulk in the around the waistband of the skirt, and I think it fits better that way.
Okay. Good tip.
Unless you're making like a little kid size.
Well, that was another thing that I got one time where it was asking how to make an infant size poodle skirt. And I again there was math involved and I think that I
I
had
did a poodle
memorized.
skirt tutorial.
I know you have yours is adorable. Isn't yours don't you have a goldfish on yours?
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
goldfish bowl with
Yeah.
bubbles.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Very cute. It's
My
very
best
cute.
friend owns that skirt. She saw it and went yoink, and I've never seen it again.
Oh, it's a good sign. It's a good sign.
Yeah, it cannot. I mean, we have reached middle age. It cannot fit her anymore. And so I would like to have it back, please, just so I can dress my dress for it and have it look nice in the back.
There you go. Just
But not
officially putting
really.
this out there. Yeah. Okay.
I I don't actually want it back because if she loves it and it should be hers. But I definitely made it when we were younger and more spry.
Or spry. Oh.
Pre-pandemic.
Oh, yeah. It's how time is measured now.
It really is. Yeah. What a weird several years it has been. I realize that is the most lukewarm of takes. But,
Definitely.
uh,
But it's
yeah, so
also
did
true.
yeah.
Um,
Does anybody else who is out there, did you make anything for anybody or for you for
Yeah.
the holidays?
And it's also entirely okay if you did not, because
Yes.
yeah,
Well, I certainly didn't, as we all know.
yeah. Or did you receive any handmade gifts? Because that's also fun. Yeah.
And we know I did. Oh,
Oh,
did I tell you about the wonderful piece of history that I received, handmade history?
I don't think so.
Okay. So, my grandmother, who is in her mid 80s, is sort of in the process of giving gifts to people while she's still around to give them.
Yeah.
And I have been getting most of the interesting antiques. So like she had a Shirley Temple uh, bowl set that was my great grandmother's when she was a child,
Very
and
cool.
just like things like that that are interesting. But she knows that I will use things. I won't use that particular thing because I
Yeah.
don't know that it was ever meant to be used.
Right.
But so in the box of recent items that my mom brought last time she came to visit because she keeps driving and bringing absurd amounts of things. There were a set of patchwork wool scarves that were
Cool.
like obviously recycled fabrics
Mhm.
from different things, and my great grandmother had sewn them one year when I think my family got snowmobiles. And so everybody needed winter wear like immediately. And so these are like she was just turning them out. They are absolutely like she was an extremely skilled maker of things,
Yeah.
but she was just turning them out as fast as she could. And so they hung in my grandparents' basement for years and years, and have just sort of moved with them to different places. And my grandma thought that they deserved to have a Vermont winter. And so they have arrived, and I intend to wear them.
That is so
Um,
cool.
because, and I mean, they're actually in better shape than you might think.
Yeah.
But they're just so indicative of someone who makes something both out of necessity and also like love.
Yeah.
Like someone had a need and my great grandmother was like, hold my glass of water.
Yeah.
And I hold my tea, I think
That's I
actually
was
would be
gonna
accurate.
yeah, tea. Hold my tea.
Yep. So yeah, and just things like that. Her scrapbooks also arrived
Oh,
with that package, both my great grandmother's and my grandmother's scrapbooks. So
very
they're,
to have.
yeah, very cool. And I knew my great grandmother. She passed away when I was maybe 10. Um, and so, like, she's the one who as we've discussed previously on the podcast, taught me how to make braided rugs and like is the person who was sort of instrumental in my making things. And so it's so wonderful to
That
have those wonky but warm scarves up here.
yes. I love that.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so we have a few comments here from folks. So Catherine and her husband don't do don't do Christmas gifts, but they do occasional gifts when it feels like the right time. I like that
I
because
like that too.
I think that you know just making something for someone whenever is a great idea.
Yeah.
All right, so Laura made a wax canvas tool roll for her father-in-law from Make.
Cool.
Now, here's the thing. I feel dumb, but is Make still publishing a physical magazine?
Yes.
Okay, very cool. I again thinking back
I
to
think it's quarterly.
okay, this is like going back to the golden age of craft blogging when Make and Craft and also did you ever have
When I was the editor of Craft.
exactly exactly um did you ever read the magazine Ready Made?
Yes. Oh my gosh, I still have them.
I still have a few as well. Yeah, there that was like a whole era. Yeah.
And I have their DIY book, like their home
Uh-huh.
repair
Yeah.
book. I think it's called How to Make Just About Anything or something. I
Nice.
can't remember.
That was
Um, but it was one of those books that was just the most perfect physical embodiment of a thing that I don't even want to open it necessarily. It just looks perfect on my shelf.
uh-huh.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah. I think I have is it Todd Oldham had a
Mhm.
DIY book that was similar. I still have it on my shelf. I've never made anything from it, but it is so like
Beautiful.
love that. Love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. What else? Connie, oh,
Mm.
Connie's work bestie made a t-shirt with a Ruth Bader Ginsburg collar on it. That's cool.
I
That,
like it.
that's a very
I
cool idea.
want one. I probably have one actually now that I think about it.
And I painted a
Oh
picture.
no, I'm thinking about that pattern.
Yes, you made that pattern. Yeah. Which
Oh,
you
the
could cross
pattern that broke
stitch
my
on a
brain.
t-shirt if you were feeling I don't know what. I don't know what you'd have to feel in order to decide to cross stitch that on a t-shirt, but
As though you had taken leave of your senses.
that. That.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but I did cross stitch that on black fabric. So,
Yes. Yes. I'm
and
just
if you
thinking
don't know what
without the
we're
grid.
talking about,
Yeah.
I wrote a book called Feminist Stitches that has a RBG inspired dissent jabot, and it says I dissent in the lace, and it broke my brain when I designed it, but it turned out so well that I just have to let it be.
I distinctly remember when you were stitching that or trying to stitch it when we were recording a podcast episode, or maybe you might have stopped before we actually started recording, like we were talking, and I just remember you being like totally lost at some point. And we're like, okay, I think it's time to set this aside.
Yeah, I that was back in the days of Heidi, I believe.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Oh, those were such good days.
Yeah. It's like um I can't believe that we have done 5 seasons of the podcast because it's like
Right?
even though
Like,
even though seasons didn't use most of the time they didn't take up a full year, it is still going on 5 years from when
I
it
think
started.
they did largely take
Some of it,
up
yeah, yeah. I mean, but
um
you might be like we started the first one into the like it was like in April or something, but
April. Yep.
yeah,
Um,
that's a,
but yeah,
yeah,
that is yeah, and we still like each other.
we do still like each other, and when we don't, when we are busy with life and we're not, I mean, and we're only sending each other cat videos, then we like miss each other.
Yeah, it's true. And we do send each other a lot of cat
We
videos.
do, we do. Uh,
Uh,
yeah. feel
Yeah.
like
So
there was
are we gonna have this conversation right now?
I wasn't anticipating that, but, like, we said that there would be an announcement in with this live stream. So,
Yep.
so let's announce because, this it's literally the last day of 2022, and we at the beginning of November, we took our typical break,
Yep.
and, because that's usually helpful all around, and also, I was getting ready to go on vacation, so it was a logical time to do that. And then
Yeah, you
in
needed to not have deadlines while you were in
yeah,
Disney.
as it was, I had already, like, stacked up all of the things at the very beginning of November so that I could get it done, so that I could leave and not feel like I was gonna crash and burn when I got home. Which is always amusing to me that, like, I'm able to suddenly get everything done in, like, 1 week that I normally manage to do in 4 weeks.
It's amazing how
That
that works,
that
right?
doesn't seem right, but, if I could have that kind of motivation all the time. Anyway,
Right.
it might not be healthy actually to try and do that all the time. Anyway,
No.
so we took the break. So we took the break at the beginning of November, and, sometime in December, I started going, I I the break has been the mental space that I needed, and maybe I need this break to go on, longer, and so I said to Haley, "I think that we need to kind of put a longer pause on the podcast, or stop the podcast, or do I don't want to, like, my thing is I don't want to say we're never doing the podcast again, because that feels actually inaccurate in some way. I
It's
feel like,
probably not true,
yeah, it's
but
probably not true, but also I don't want to say we'll be back again because I don't know what that looks like. So the thing is that we're at least going on an extended hiatus. Does that sound
yes. Let's call it an extended hiatus. And I mean, we're not going anywhere.
right? Exactly.
We will still exist on the internet. We will still talk to each other all the time. We will still talk to you all the time. But, you know, it's more important to not fall apart than it is to make sure that we keep creating this particular variety of content.
Yeah.
Um, and I mean, I think it's the right thing to do. And it's sad, but it's also so obviously the thing that needs doing right now that it's it's fine.
Yeah.
Um, and we are very sorry if you are seeing this and it's sad for you. It's sad for us, but also it doesn't feel like a permanent goodbye.
Yeah.
So I
I
think we're just taking a hiatus
yeah.
and
And
we'll
I would
see.
say continue to, like, if you want to hear updates, then, like, stay following the social media, because if we decide to suddenly go, hey, let's put together something special, or, here's what's going on, like, we'll keep you updated and let you know what's happening, because I like I said, I don't think either of us are closing any doors. We're just sort of,
No,
you know,
we're doing what's right
yeah,
now.
yeah, exactly.
And it doesn't we love doing this podcast and we love doing it because we love each other and we love hanging out and we love hanging out with you. And so when that becomes like there's a lot of work that happens behind the scenes
Yeah.
on podcasts that if you don't happen to make one, you don't know.
And
Um,
when you do make one, you learn very quickly what you've jumped yourself into. But it's fine.
exactly.
It's fun to, like, learn all of those things, and I mean, gosh, like, this has been I okay. I have learned so much about podcasting, and I have learned way more about crafts, which is the thing that I love, than I ever never would have learned in this last 5 years otherwise. Like, just no question.
Oh,
Be
absolutely.
because I get when I find something that I'm interested in and I, dig into it, that would happen, that'd be fairly typical for me. But then, like, multiply it by Haley and Heidi and Katie, who I've also then learned things from, and then from listeners that I've also learned things from, and it's like, I've taken in a lot of amazing information in in this.
Yeah,
I've
and
tried
it's
new
so much
things too.
fun. Yeah, so the thing is that when you do a podcast, it's it means that there is never not a rolling deadline. Like, you
Yeah,
finish it and then there's the next
then
deadline
there's the
and the
next one.
next deadline. And that is fine when I mean, it's perfectly normal, but when you have a lot of different things going on, like writing books and stuff like that, suddenly that becomes like an, "Oh, no," situation, and we don't ever want the podcast to feel to us like an, "Oh, no." Um, the whole point of doing this is because we like it
Yeah,
and we have fun, and so if there's something that is making it so we can't have that feeling, then it's time to take a little break or
yeah,
a big break.
yeah, and that was, like, I think especially in the last I would say at least 2 years, it would like, we decided to be really intentional about, like, being okay with whatever needs to happen, like, just holding things a little bit more loosely,
Mhm.
so that we could sustain it more, and now this is, like, then the next step to
Yep.
sustain ourselves more, which means that you're more likely to, like, as Connie said, like, so you don't completely burn out on a thing, like, it's more likely that we would be able to come back and do this again by putting a bigger pause on it now. So, hey, and so I don't I think like recording the podcast and like talking about these things and connecting with people doesn't feel so much like a chore, but all the stuff to like make sure it can get to people, that's the part
Yeah,
that feels
making
more of
sure that
a
it
chore.
sounds good.
Yeah, and um, you know, when you have to have lists of lists for things to make it all happen, that's where I was like, okay, maybe maybe a break is good. Maybe
Yep.
continuing the break. So
And
that's where
I
we
couldn't agree more. I think
yeah,
it's exactly the right thing to do right now because we don't ever want to not like to do this.
yeah, yeah,
And so right now we aren't gonna because life.
yeah. And but like it is really I feel like I want it to be open ended so that um just even the our social media channels or our website. I mean, we haven't even discussed the what goes on with this after we have just made this announcement and you know all of the logistics of those kinds of things. But I like
I
that,
don't think much happens.
I think
Um,
it's just it can be what it is. I mean, who knows what happens in the future? But yeah,
yep. Nothing will. Uh,
nothing's
I'm gonna just put
going
it
away
out there.
right now.
Nothing's gonna change for you guys,
Yeah, exactly.
except for you won't get new content with regularity
Exactly.
or at all for a while.
Yeah.
But the episodes aren't going to disappear.
Right.
The website isn't going to disappear. Like, frankly, I run the website and it happens to be involved in a discounted bundle. So, it's probably not going anywhere because I
Ah,
don't want to mess up that's a good thing I got going.
there you go.
So you don't have to worry about it suddenly disappearing or anything,
Yeah,
or us suddenly disappearing. We
certainly.
will totally be around and we will totally hang out. And it's, yeah, I think I think it's good and it's open-ended and we'll let you know.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean,
So
I think the also the reality is that we both have like topics of things that we still would be very happy to be talking about at some point. So
yeah.
it just means we have to record it or something along the way. It's just there's not a plan for when that would happen.
No, and to be completely transparent, um, we never really figured out how to we figured out how to make the podcast pay for itself, but we never figured out how to make it um pay us. And so it's truly been just a thing that we have loved doing and loved making for everyone.
Yeah.
And like all of you who have supported us, like we
Thank
love you. Thank you so
thank you.
much.
Thank you.
Yes, and I'm going to continue pausing the Patreon payments indefinitely. I don't think I'm going to take it down because I think that that would cause some chaos, at least
Yeah.
some
Plus,
administrative chaos.
um, that way, I think folks should still have access to things that they had access to before. I think
Yep,
so.
yep.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I will continue doing that so you don't have to worry about being charged. If anything weird does happen billing wise, let me know and I'll make sure that everything's fine. Oh, hello.
Hello, Arizona.
What a time to walk in.
Yeah.
Oh man. But yeah, so we just wanted to let, everybody know that it's not you, it's us.
Yeah.
um, but also it will probably, I don't know. It doesn't feel like a permanent thing,
Right.
but it
It's just gonna
definitely
get.
feels
It's just
like a
gonna.
solid break.
Yeah. It'll stay quieter around the very serious crafts realm for a while at least. So
Yes, and like without pressure on either one of us.
yes.
And we tend to kind of read each other's minds.
Yeah.
So the chances of like if it becomes a thing that we have bandwidth for, chances are pretty good that it will become a thing that we have bandwidth for, and then we will be texting each other at the same time
Uh huh.
about that because that's how we do.
It is. It is how we work. So my totally an aside, but you'll appreciate this.
Yeah.
My brother and his really good friend from oh, my battery is telling me that I should be plugging in my phone. Um, uh, my brother and his good friend from I don't know junior high. We used to joke that they shared like this common brain cell that they would have to go back and forth between them. One of them only had it at a time, and I feel like we have the same thing, except that like it exists in both of us at the same time, and we're all connected. I'm gonna see if I can plug in here. Things might get weird. Hmm, nothing
It
changed
sounds
yet.
sort of like a mouse is doing a tap dance.
Uh-huh. Okay. Let's see now. Just a moment. Just a moment. Will this work? It's not gonna work.
Dun dun
It's not gonna
dun.
work. We're all moving. Just so that I can exist in the rest of this call.
I mean, that quilt is very well centered. Yes,
That's a
exactly, Connie. Exactly like all orange cats share one brain cell.
exactly.
Which
Okay. Plugged in, I think.
oh, jorts. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Google jorts, the cat.
Oh, okay. I was thinking like jean shorts. Like that's
Oh
the
no no
nickname for
no!
that. And I was
There's
like, I know what jorts are, but I've missed
Do
the
you
reference
not know
now.
about buttered jorts?
No?
Oh my goodness.
Okay. We're getting
I'm
there.
gonna send you just an epic link.
Okay. Like this is like the brand of like butter goods denim? Is this what we're looking at now? Or
No,
is it
no,
something
it's an
different?
orange cat.
Oh, okay, then hold on.
Um, it, explaining it
Dort's
to
the cat.
you
Okay,
right now is
it's fine. Okay.
there's too much background, but
Know Your Meme is going to fill me in as soon as we're finished with this.
yes, but Jorts is a very nice orange cat who um doesn't get the shared brain cell very often,
Aw, poor baby.
but is also just delightful. So highly recommend. I
Okay.
will send you some links.
Okay, thank you.
Wow, that was a tangent. Welcome to my autism.
I welcome to this podcast because that's
Right?
very perfect. Speaking of cats, though, I can't tell you how disappointed I am that Darcy has not come to visit. It's probably too cold in this room for her. She's probably sitting on a
Ah,
heater somewhere,
probably.
which is her
And
favorite
Mr. Big
hobby.
Stuff hasn't tried to break down the door.
Yeah. Oh, that was another handmade gift that I made this year. I made
Mr. Big
Darcy.
Stuff?
No, I made Darcy a little catnip toy. It looks like a heart shaped chocolate chip cookie. So
That's adorable.
she loves it, obviously.
I
So
imagine that she does. Oh
yeah,
my goodness.
we find it in various places. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to make some new toys because Jack, just the last couple of days, has decided that she is going to tear every toy apart and eat it.
Oh no.
And first of all, listen, that's expensive.
Yes.
Oh, and I'm getting random texts. That doesn't show up, does it?
Nope. I've not seen it.
Great. Um, I mean, it was nothing terribly exciting. Um, just New Year's Eve related text.
Okay.
But but yeah, so she has destroyed multiple mousy toys,
Oh,
and then I have just found pieces of
bits.
them. I don't know what she's feisty about something. I don't know what it is.
Oh boy. I have a. I now just like I have a little tin of catnip so that I can make new items for Darcy whenever is needed. So yeah.
I too have a tin of catnip for just that purpose.
Uh-huh. When it
Ah,
arrived, she managed to find the box and knocked it down, and I had things everywhere. So yeah. Now
I'm
it's
kind of
good.
impressed given how petite she is.
She is. She's a small cat, but she can still cause trouble.
Oh, yes. Oh my goodness.
So where are we? Do we have other things to cover, or are we like
I
about? I have no
think
idea
so.
where we. Yeah. Okay.
I don't know.
My phone is plugged in now, so it can hang out as long as it wants to.
Sweet. Well, I don't have any place else that I have to be at the moment. So if we want to carry on for, I don't know, we could make it a solid 90 minutes.
All right. All right.
All
I
right.
I might even finish this row on my
I
sweater.
did finish a row. I
Look at
just
you.
want you to know. And it was the correct stitch.
You you even you even capped off the end of those needles so you didn't lose anything along the way. That's impressive.
That, my friend, is OCD. But like the for real kind for
Yes.
anyone who does
Yes.
not know me. I have it. And it is not a joke when you have it.
No.
Oh,
But it is helpful at keeping your stitches in place.
yep. And I think we
And
just
Catherine, you go take care of yourself. Make good choices tonight. Okay. Thank you for joining us. And
Oh,
and
and cheers from not quite festive times yet.
that's right. Yeah, but close. So happy New Year. Happy New
It's
Year to you.
true. Happy New Year.
Thank you for joining us.
Yes.
Yeah, I when I took my this project on the road for my vacation, and I did not have
There's a
any.
dude yelling outside. Hold on.
Oh,
Think maybe somebody got into the champagne a little bit early.
oh boy.
Yeah.
Uh,
And it's not even in New York City. Come on.
yeah, that's surprising.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I brought this project on the road. Did not think to bring anything to protect the ends of my needles and my stitches. Um, so I was working on circular needles because I was going from working in the round to working flat. And so I just took the two ends of my circular needles and I joined them together with one of the little connector pieces. So that's one side of the sweater held
That's
together.
perfect.
And then I'm working the other side flat. And it was not easy to get it to like hold because I was like trying to twist the things. And obviously, you're not supposed to twist all in
Right.
the directions, but it's working, it's holding, and I still haven't taken it off. Hopefully, it will come off okay. I don't know.
I mean, honestly, that's pretty brilliant.
It, it worked, you know, uh,
Yeah.
necessity being the mother of invention and all of that.
The mother of sticking things together.
Exactly. I had no other options in the car.
Sometimes not having many additional choices is freeing.
Well, one of my favorite books is well, I mean, for graphic design, one of my favorite graphic design books. It's called Designers in Handcuffs. And the idea is that the idea
Oh,
is
really?
it is. um the idea is that when you have um things that are limiting your choices or limiting your options, when you are in handcuffs, so to speak, you can actually do a lot more creative things with finding a solution. And so
Uh-huh.
it is divided into uh, three sections for the different kinds of limits that might be on a project. But I think that like the concept is true for lots of things when you have limits in place, parameters, other things, then you can get more creative with your choices.
Let the record show that it wasn't me.
I, I'm
What?
I didn't say anything that wasn't just taken at face value is just what it is.
Uh-huh.
All. Did I think through whether
Oh,
I should even mention the name of the book? I did think through that, but whatever.
listen, I cannot help myself.
It's fine. It's fine.
And they did name it that for a reason.
Of course they did. Of course
I
they did.
mean, well done, book marketers. Well done.
But anyway,
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I do agree that I like to like when I'm writing books, I have a really specific size template that I always start with, and I don't tend to vary from that.
yes.
Even like even though book to book, like I could decide to make the template a different size if I wanted to, consistently throughout a different book. But no, I I like having the very specific limiting factors in place because I don't know, it definitely forces you to figure it out, but you
I,
don't have so much room to figure it out that
yeah.
you get lost in it.
Well, that was when I made my the second book. So Cross Stitch Celebrations Bundle of Joy came out this summer, and then Cross Stitch Celebrations Graduation will release in March. And when I started working on
You've
that,
been a little busy.
been a little busy. Um, when I started working on that, I made the definite decision that they would both um, borders would always be the same size between the two books, and I used the same color palette in both of the books, and I kept um, other things roughly within a same range so that you could actually mix and match the elements between the books. Uh,
Yes, which I
because
love.
I mean, why not add that extra ability? And it opens up options for people on the other end, but it also gave me limits on the designing side, and that was
Well, and it's really nice to have that sort of continuity
yeah,
across books. I think all of my books actually, even the first one, the color palettes aren't the same because
right,
there were finite limits on the color palettes for books that were not my first one.
yeah,
Um because kids.
yeah,
But yeah, I think that I think the alphabets and such from my first book and all of the design elements are actually would in fact be able to be swapped into any of the other books. That's interesting. I hadn't thought about that.
it's very handy, very handy.
Yeah, indeed. Oh, I'm still doing the right stitch. Mm. Oh, hey, we hit 90 minutes.
We did hit 90 minutes. I have not finished this row, so
All right. Well,
uh,
Let's finish our rows.
and finish our rows. Because
Oh man.
then I'm gonna reach a pattern row, and I'm not gonna be able to do that because that's counting. So,
Nope.
and it's like
That only
counting to like
work.
19 or something, and that's very awkward.
Oh no. Yeah, let's not. That only works if I have like color coded stitch markers happening.
Yeah, no, we're not doing that. It's fine.
I mean, I always do that.
Well, I I would. The problem is that there's like a pattern row every like 10 rows or something, and so
Oh,
it doesn't really help.
no. No, it doesn't. But it's
And
going to
it
be
changes.
really
It goes
pretty
back
when
and
it's
forth.
done.
Yeah, it shifts, and it's a very nice like subtle design that I love, and I'm very excited that I will eventually get to wear this. But yeah, but counting.
Yeah, I will also eventually get to wear this. I don't even know if I'm making the front or the back of it right now.
Oh no.
No idea.
Laura, thank you so much for joining us for this. We hope that you have a wonderful New Year's. And yeah, thank you so much for supporting us along the way and
Yeah,
in a
thanks,
serious
Laura.
chapter with us.
See you on Bones and Bobbins.
There you go. Uh,
Oh, um, yeah. Oh, this was fun.
this was so
The
much fun.
I thought it was sort of going to be a very high pressure thing, and I kind of think that me sleeping through my alarm made that not even possible.
Yeah, you didn't have time to think about it.
No, or to comb my hair. I did brush my teeth.
See?
I know, so fancy.
Very
Um,
well. Thank you for that.
you're very welcome.
Oh
Uh,
my goodness. All right.
hey, we did a live stream.
We did a live stream. It was great. Um, oh, Connie, look at that. That
Oh,
Bailey has a good answer for you.
I do have a good answer, although I haven't announced it yet at all. Um, I am going to be relaunching the Red Handled Scissors Patreon and with some patterns and probably monthly patterns. And I am still working on the first one, so I think that I will launch next or in January, but probably in the middle of January. So I will let
That was
everyone know, and I will put out the word.
yeah. Thank you
But
for
yeah.
asking about that, Connie. That was great opportunity to work that in. So
Yes, and Molly, you should mention your
yeah, so I have just launched a new membership tier system for my coffee, which is ko-fi .com/wild olive, but you can find it through my places, all my links and things around the internet. And yeah, so I've got exclusive patterns and free bonuses and all kinds of things available to folks there. So yeah.
yeah. Thanks, Connie. That was beautifully perfect timing, and we would have gotten distracted and
Yeah.
forgotten.
Yeah, thank you very much. And
Yeah.
yeah, so at this point, what do we usually like close out the podcast by saying, well, on that note, right? That's typically where what leads us to the end of the an episode, right? So on that
Yes.
note, thanks for all of the podcast things. And
Yeah. Thanks for
yeah,
being you, and thanks for supporting us. And keep an eye on our social medias and such, and we'll see what happens.
yeah, I want to say like we'll see you on the flip side, but like for like crafting, that would be like the wrong side of the
We'll
project, right?
see you
Yeah,
on the Pearl side of the
the pearl
knitting
side of
project.
exactly. Yes.
There we go.
Perfect. All right. Thanks,
Anyway,
everyone.
yes, bye.
Bye.
Mwah.